Good afternoon. The regular meeting of the Lbza Sport Board of Zoning's Appeal is open. It is September the 15th at 4:01. My name is Jeff Key, and I'll chair this meeting. Will the secretary please call the roll?
Judy Berg, absent. Tom Nelson, absent. Jeff Key,
Here.
Mimi Randawans,
Here.
Steph Helton.
Here.
There are 5 members of the board, thus any decision must have 3 votes to pass. Members of the board have received copies of the minutes. Are there any questions or corrections? Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Do you have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Today, we'll hear 3 cases. Has any board member been in contact with any petitioners, advocates, or opponents in regards to any petitions before the board today?
No.
Has proper notification been made, and do we have proper verification in all cases today on the docket?
2521 and 2523, we need their newspaper affidavits.
Okay, so we're going to make an amendment to move 2524 first, is that right? Okay.
You guys are okay with that?
Did he say that?
Can I?
Is that, do we have to vote on that?
Sorry, go ahead.
Did we approve both minutes,
Uh,
the 18th and the 25th?
Yeah, I had asked that question, so we would approve both minutes,
Correct.
Okay.
Just want to make sure it was on
I
there.
was recording it.
right,
Okay.
so recorded. And so we're going to move the first case as amended. We'll hear 2524 first.
You have to.
Is there any objections to the board to do that?
Need a motion and a vote on it.
Okay,
I'll make motion to move it.
okay. I need a second on that.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so we will move the first case, 2524. Does this planning staff have a report for the petition on 2524?
Maybe. All right, so this is Elizabeth Barnett requesting various variances from developmental standards to have a 6-foot fence in the front yard setback. The property is located at 231 Grove Street, Logansport, Indiana, and is zoned R3 medium residential, medium density residential. So they're requesting to have a 6-foot fence in their front yard setback. They currently have a 4-foot fence, but would like to have more privacy since they have a pool. The standards in that zoning district are for front yard, a yard, which is a yard extending across the full width of the lot occupied other than by steps, walks, terraces, drives, and similar uses, the depth of which is at least the distance between the street right-of-way line and the building line. On corner lots, the front yard shall be all lots between the right-of-way and the building line. So they are on a corner. They're on the corner of Grove and Main Street. And so they have 2 front yards, but they want to put their fence out further because they don't have much of a yard otherwise. So in the R3 district, the front yard setback is 20 feet. They could line up their fence with their house if they wanted to, but they feel like they would lose quite a bit of yard with having the pool and then the garage back there too. The house is approximately set back 9 to 10 feet, so they would lose that space if they lined it up. And then they would just like to have the fence located just adjacent to their property line, and the property line is usually the back of the sidewalk, so it'd be pretty close to there. And then, so they would need a variance of 10, it's either 10 to 11 feet for a setback for that front yard towards Grove Street. And then for fence standards, fences are permitted as accessory structures in any district. But for fences in residential districts or abutting residential uses may not have the height greater than 48 inches in the front yard setback and shall not be permitted within the right-of-way. So they wouldn't be allowed for that, so they would need a variance of 2 feet in height for the fence in the front yard. That's really all I have.
Okay, thank you. Will the petitioner please advance to the microphone? Kindly state your name and address for the record.
Sit down.
Elizabeth Barnett,
Address, please.
We swear people in?
231.
We didn't swear people in.
Sorry, what?
We didn't swear
Swearing
him
people
in.
Stand up and say they'll
Oh,
tell
yeah,
the truth, the
well-
whole truth.
Yeah, if anybody wants to
For any case,
indicate to the testimony, please stand up and swear, please stand up.
Just stand up. And you
Will
guys-
everyone,
anybody that's going to say
If you
anything,
speak
we have
to
to
them.
swear you
if
in.
you have something to say, please, okay.
If you plan speaking.
Raise your right hand and say, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? If so, please state your name, say I do.
Elizabeth Barnett, I do.
All right.
All the others fine. Just one of the
Sorry
steps
about
of
that,
it.
it was a glitch. Okay, did you have anything else that you wanted to add to the staff report?
I don't feel that, because we're not going all the way to the corner, I don't feel like it'll affect the viewing for stopping or turning, because it's right there where the chain link fence stops. That's where we're going to stop, so there'll still be plenty of viewing for turning, and we're going to put up a nice fence, and I feel like, honestly, it'll increase the property value. I feel like it'll look better than the chain link fence.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from the board? None? Okay. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to ask any questions, give any information, or any evidence in this case? If so, please advance to the microphone. Is there any written correspondence on this case? If so, would the secretary please read? Any other questions? Does the board have conditions of approval for the commitments to attach to the motion? If so, would the secretary please read?
Conditions of approval. 1, that all proposals of the petitioner be made conditions of approval. 2, that all other standards of the ordinance be met. 3, that all applicable state and local permits be obtained and proof be given to the zoning administrator.
Thank you. Would you abide by the conditions if we would grant the variance today?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a motion to bring 2524 to a vote?
I'll motion.
The discussion is closed. The board will take a few minutes to render the decision.
Okay.
Will the secretary please take a roll call on the vote?
Amy Renowans,
Yes.
Steph Helton,
Yes.
Jeff Key,
Yes.
John Brown, yes.
Your case number 2524 has been approved with conditions. The zoning administrator will send you a letter of the results of the hearing. As always, any decision of the board can be appealed by the petitioner or any interested party in the circuit court within 30 days. Thank you and good luck. The next case we will hear, we'll go back in the original order, is 2521. Report, please.
The petition of Joshua Weber requesting a special exception and various variances from developmental standards to operate a commercial garage. The property is located at 1879 18th Street, Logansport, and is zoned AB agribusiness. All right. So he's requesting to do an auto shop, commercial garage. It's the old elevator on 18th Street.
Oh, wow.
I just want you guys to know that the petitioner has been taking vehicles to this property and was placing signage without proper approvals. There were enforcement letters that had been sent to the property owner about not having the proper approvals.
Okay.
And then even after receiving these letters, some operations were continued, signage was left, and additional cars moved on and off the site. I know the signage had been removed soon after we had talked to them, but
They have their one sign up there, though, their actual commercial.
So after it was done, they
thought they were all done.
continued to do that?
so,
Oh, I just said after the notice was sent, they continued to do that? Okay, thank you.
So for a commercial garage, it's an establishment which includes all uses permitted for automobile service station except the retail sale of gas and oil. And it can include auto body repairs, painting. It can include the repairing of vehicles or fixing up old cars at a residence or any location for which money or goods or services are received for the work. So commercial garages are only allowed by special exception in the AG, B4, AB, and I1 districts. He's in the AB district. So for commercial garages, there are certain standards they have to meet. Minimum lot area has to be met, has to be 15,000 square feet, and 1,000 square feet of lot area for each additional service bay over 2. You may want to ask how many service bays there will be. And then for landscaping and buffering, you shall be per the zoning district. But in addition, vehicles used for repair or awaiting repair shall be screened from view by an opaque fence at least 6 feet tall and is allowed in the front yard setback if it doesn't create any safety issues. And you may want to question if they are planning on doing an opaque fence for vehicles, and if so, where will it be located? I know on the site plan, it does show a fence, but it's on the south side, not along roads or anything.
Okay.
There's our site plan. And then for some other stuff, there shall be no outdoor storage of merchandise such as tires or lubricants, and there shall be no outdoor storage of discarded auto parts. Vehicles shall not be stored outside while awaiting repairs for more than 7 consecutive calendar days, and no vehicles may be parked or stored on any public right-of-way. And then disabled vehicles may not be stored in the open at any time. And then parking areas, buffer yards, and signs shall meet the section of the zoning ordinance. You should ask if there will be any body work or painting being done at the property. And then for lighting, they don't propose any additional lighting. And then for signage, it says a 10 by 5 foot metal sign is proposed on the front exterior of the building, which would be 50 square feet total. They actually, on their site plan, have 2 signs. One, I think here, and then one on the end of the building here. So they would not be able to exceed a maximum of 100 square feet because it's 2 square feet per linear foot of building frontage. The building's approximately 66 feet of frontage, so that'd be 132, allowed 100 square feet. So no lighting is proposed for the sign. If they were to do a pole sign, I put the standards in here, one pole sign allowed, 50 square feet per acre, not to exceed 90 square feet, and then they'd have to have a setback of 10 feet, but these standards would have to be met, or they would have to come back to you for approval. Hours of operation are Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Friday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And then for parking, they state that they're going to have 20-plus parking spaces along the east side of the property, in between their property and Paul's Auto, which is the property to the south. They are a classification M, which is 2 spaces per service stall, and then plus 1 per employee. You still need to question how many service stalls, so if they need more. Staff recommends that the parking spaces for employees and customers be clearly marked. It appears that the site plan provided for parking is not owned by the property owner. They would not be able to park here, and then the board needs to discuss parking more with the owner. Because if you look here, they have parking right here. And if you look at this drawing, their property line does not come across here.
And even if some of that property would be backed up, they wouldn't have access, driving access to and from those parking spots. We, as the board, cannot allow them to go on someone else's property to access parking, so.
And then for landscaping, no additional landscaping is proposed. They are classification E, level 3. I really think they're supposed to be a level 5 to all other directions but the south. It may be a level 3 to the south.
What's that say, Jamie, before it kicks you out?
Remind me in 100 minutes?
Yeah, let's do that. I just didn't want it
Yeah.
timed and it automatically shut down.
So they would need a variance for their, I think it's a level 5 buffer along the 3 sides, north, east, and west. And then they plan to have 2 employees. And I will tell you, we have lots of commitments suggested and conditions. So we suggest that like a parking and the fence be established before any operations or any other vehicles be brought to the site. And then also the removal and the painting be done within a year of this approval, because he's on the site plan.
I was
It
gonna say, can you
shows-
run through the site plan?
Yes. So here is where they have the parking. They plan on signage here and here. It says an ADA ramp to get access to the building. They're planning on keeping this building right here as an additional garage, I think. And then they're gonna scrap these. And they're gonna keep these 3 used in 4. They're gonna use this for storage. And then, we also suggest that they keep this natural buffer maintained. And then they're gonna do, it does say repaint. Yeah.
That's why there's a
repaint
time
windows.
frame on it, to make sure they were gonna.
Oh, they're gonna repaint the building and put new windows in. And then they plan on customer parking here.
Just as additional condition that's not on there is have the county building commissioner review the buildings that they want to keep to make sure there's no additional repairs. At one time, the city building commissioner went out there and had concerns on some of the buildings. So we would just want the county building commissioner, because it's actually in the county, review that to see if there's anything that needs to be fixed on on those buildings they're wanting to keep. I will say one of the things that is on your findings is whether or not it meets with the comprehensive plan. I will tell you, kind of on both the cases tonight, our comprehensive plan does talk about improving the entrances into the community. Both of them are on entrances into the community, so just as a side note for you guys, I know in this area there is some industrial and rail, but, you know, adding an additional use like this could impact this future beautification of those entrances. So That's why one of the things that was put on conditions that she'll read in a little bit is to not have anything in the front or to the side of that building, and having a stipulation on the time frame to fix up the buildings and paint them. I will say, I don't know, did you have the pictures you put in the staff report? Because there was another picture. They were parking some in the front of the building that, that basically went to the road. That's going to be a problem. Just
Parking, but the property owner didn't, but they don't own the property. Is that what you're
There
saying?
currently, those are probably parked on their property. Some of the other ones aren't parked on their property, but I think the issue being is that it appears to be that the grass is, they own the grass, and that the other place owns the gravel, because that's just how it's kind of always operated. But based off the actual lines that we're looking at, it's different. So that's a concern. I mean, not just for visibility, but we're not allowed by ordinance to back up or anything. So if someone pull in, they can't back up onto a road. So if you go back to the site or the aerial, Jamie. So on the other one more. So the south of that building, we did some measurements. There would be enough room there to do one drive back to the back of their property, to then put parking along basically both sides of that building that they're gonna keep, but it only keeps it like 14, 15 spaces if you line it kind of with the building. And it would have to be a one-way in and a one-way out. The other issue is I don't know that they have rear access to put in ADA back there. So that's going to be an issue for people to get to their front door, obviously being to the rear of the building. So the other option is that you could do 2 handicap spots possibly in the front there, aligning with the building in that location, and then pull other customers off of, is it South River Road?
Wabash Road.
Oh, okay. It also goes into South River Road, so I wasn't sure what that section was called. Again, you could put some parking back in that location for customers, but then they're having to walk around the whole building. So I'm a little concerned about the parking because using the front is an issue. They don't really have access to use that. Now, the neighboring property may give them access, but at this time, I don't know that they have anything under lease or contract or anything like that. And we can't approve of anything saying they can park on someone else's property. So that's just for customer parking. Our other concern with just commercial garages in general, and this would be for both cases tonight, is that we continue to have issues, nothing against anybody that's here tonight, but continue to have issues with all of our commercial garages that get approved, not meeting the standards that are put in place, and parking wherever because people just drop off their vehicles. And so it becomes a hazard visibly for people on those roads, and they're not kept behind the fenced areas that we typically make them be kept in. Also, on some of our commercial garages, we have issues where they're doing body work and painting, which is not allowed without a paint booth. I mean, they can do a certain percentage, but some of them do painting that they're not allowed by state without the paint booth. And so those become concerns after they leave these meetings as well. So it's just a continual issue with our department and commercial garages, nothing about the people tonight, just in general. Telling you, like I said, the comprehensive plan in general, wanting to clean up our corridors into town, and in general, the commercial garages being an issue. That's not specific to anybody that's out here tonight, that's just specific to what we've seen in the 20 years and what our plans state. So, just so that the board knows.
Thank you. Will the petitioner please advance to the microphone? State your name and address for the record.
Hello, my name is Joshua Weber, and you said say the address?
Name and address, yeah.
It's 1879 18th Street.
My name is Adalberto Narvaez, 1879 18th Street.
anything that you want to add to the report?
Yeah, it has been a bit of a process transferring locations. We were at 2625 East Market Street. We kind of got pushed out of there a little unexpectedly, so it has been a bit of a process getting and moving things, and I do apologize for going kind of jumping the gun on a few things. I'm still learning myself, so I made sure we corrected those issues. And I'm also aware that the area is, we want to keep the area nice, which is something we promised when we were at 2625. I don't think we ever really had issues there. We kept it clean, which was a big motto of ours, was just keeping everything looking nice and orderly. We were able to function there in a nice and orderly manner in a limited space. And with this property, he did start out with having cars up front, but with this plan, we don't want to do anything up front. Like you said, we want to keep everything in the back and have fences so that everything is concealed and nothing can see up front, which keeps the property looking nice and curb appeal. And this that we have shows, I feel like, a bit of a different line in between us.
Could you move to this picture here? So there is a driveway there that goes through the middle of the property to Paul's Auto Salvage, that someone had to get approval for zoning to get that drive made when there was a pre-existing structure there. And this was the picture.
That doesn't mean they got
Yeah.
it unless you have an easement or
Yeah.
there's something recorded there. It would just be someone probably made it.
Well, this also was the picture that was presented to us when we purchased the property, which is why we based our parking design off of this in particularly.
But what I'm saying is even if you parked on that line, you would be backing up onto their property.
So the fence we want to actually put on the line, so we would actually have them pulling from the other side of the lot, not through the scrapyard.
So
They have a
my
gate.
concern would be is that we would need to kind of figure out if that's the right line.
Yeah, and we're open to other possibilities, of course. But with this picture.
That would help with the access in the front, because that's my concern is how it's laid out based off what we can see.
Right,
That's hard.
absolutely. But with this picture with the yellow lining, we're hoping to get some customer parking and as you said, handicap parking up there. He is really good friends with the scrapyard and they do stuff and they're looking at a possible partnership on some aspects. So I don't know if they'd be open to that down the road, but obviously we don't have that now. So we would have to look at other options for kind of customer parking. Again, we do want to keep everything off the front of the building to keep it looking nice. And keeping the area looking nice. We do plan to paint the building. We do want to get fence around the whole lot. It's just kind of, that side is our kind of, I guess, media attention since there is, they have a lot of activity. They have a gate that opens up right there, kind of right on the line. So they also kind of go into our property and come in and out, which could, again, they're friends. So, I mean, I don't see it being an issue. I don't know if an easement could be worked out later on. I guess it's a possibility. But their fence that kind of goes, sorry.
Yeah, right there.
We were looking pretty much parking right here along there. They have an 8-foot fence right here. So you go pull vehicles through here and then the customer parking. We were hoping that this line is actually true. The older photo, it shows it definitely more so cutting through the property. But if we're able to get the parking up on the building, I do feel like there would be enough area for customer parking. We're only planning on having 2 station areas or bay areas. So we don't plan on having that many people really there all at once.
What if someone's dropping off, because this usually is the biggest issue, if they're just dropping off their
And how long are the vehicles in the stay too?
We try not to keep very many vehicles on our lot for a long period of time. I wouldn't say any more than a week to 2 weeks is how long they would sit. We don't like to have a lot of sitting vehicles or anything that makes the area look
And that time frame
Bad.
is very unrealistic. And
In
reality, it's 3 or 4 days for my vehicle processing time for repair, which I usually stand by pretty firm.
What
Yeah, for-
happens when someone doesn't pay or drops off, though, is my question.
At that point, then the vehicle would be put towards a more isolated region, and we would send letters out telling them the repercussions of leaving their vehicle unpaid in a timely manner.
And if they're dropping off, let's say the night before, are you gonna have a drop-off location?
We will
Other than
probably-
customer parking?
Yeah, the other side of the property along the
North.
north side, There are multiple gravel entrances already. We can easily have a fence there and gates for the people to enter the property on that side of the property so that we can have flowage on that side rather than, as of right now.
That's my concern, is that they're gonna drop it off wherever they wanna drop it off, and being on 18th Street and just go, well, I'm gonna park it right here.
Well,
Yeah.
we're hoping to have a fence, so they'll have to come into the gate, so that they'll be able to drop it off, I guess, technically anywhere back there, but it would be concealed within the
Right,
fence.
right. I just know that in other locations we have around town, they drop it off where customer parking is, and then customer parking gets overflowed, and then they just start, similar to the scrap yard where people just bring scrap and leave it.
Absolutely,
We
yes.
definitely-
So the same thing
definitely
happens with
have that.
commercial garages, so I
Yeah,
just wanna make sure that you
yeah.
guys have a location that they can drop it off in addition to the customer.
Yes, we'll make it very visible, and we do want to have a gate right here on the side of the scrap yard so that they can pull through there. Like I said, they also sell cars and used stuff, and they park them up front there. There was their bus and
That's
stuff up front.
Another one that needs to go through a process.
Yeah, so we don't plan on doing anything or parking anything up front, or anything of that sort. Like I said, we'll keep everything behind the building so that everything's concealed and put away. We do want to we have graveling down and stuff, just to not make it look like a mess and muddy back there.
So if you were doing a fence, are you doing the fence on, because those all look like drives, right?
Yes.
Yes.
They're not new drives, they're off existing drives?
Yes,
Yes.
they're existing
Okay,
already.
so you would be putting a fence basically, can you show it? Yeah.
So pretty much the whole, we would have the fence coming through, probably a gate for entrances into here, then continue the fencing back. Here we would have our fencing, so they have their fence here, but according to mine, again, my boundaries are a little differently than the older picture. It would allow room, even if we needed to push the fence back, that could be an option to allow and the cars would be on the inside of the fence, obviously not on the outside, so it'd be.
Yeah, because I think that, just as a measurement, and I think that was taken from like the gravel that would be Paul's to your building, I think there was like 26 feet. So that doesn't really give you enough room to have, because our typical is 9 by 18, and then you're gonna have to have the backup area of 22. So I guess my concern is that you may not be able to get any right beside the building. You may be able to bring them over and then park them that way. But right by the building, I'm not sure that would work.
Yeah, I did see possible issues with that, but yeah, there will be a gate here also for access, right next to their gate. And we've already talked to the scrapyard, they know of our plans and everything. But yes, obviously that we want to get the fence as far this way as possible so that the vehicles meet inside our property and not have to collide with their property at all. So that we're keeping separate.
And we do work quite a bit with Paul's Auto Salvage with dealing with them discarding vehicles, which is why we want that
We
gate.
have to have space on the,
Yeah, so-
this side of the fence, so we can just push. the
Right,
gate.
so, I mean, depending upon if you want customer parking inside your fence, there may be enough room, you would have to get a permit to have another drive, anyway, it's
Right.
another story, but you would come in, there would be enough room for you to come in here as a two-way.
Oh, I see.
And then they would have to come back and park.
Gotcha.
So your fence would be
The drive.
more back here.
Those would be insured exit.
How many parking spaces will that allow?
There's a lot of parking possibility right along here, there's a lot.
Yeah,
So
I
if
don't
you
know,
just
I
need
didn't
to go
measure
around
that
maybe-
width there.
Yeah, if we just eliminated the customer parking here, even moving it here, there's parking all, along the diagonal fencing here. I mean, there's a lot.
Is
of
there
parking.
any access from the building back here?
Yeah, it's all wide open back there, so like you said, we could just push.
No, like to the office or anything, there's not?
There's a door right here.
Okay,
and
there is
that's
a
the
door.
front door, and then this is, an entrance right here.
But your ADA would be here.
Yes,
Okay.
so a ramp there, so.
I just
But
think.
there is a ramp right here too at the moment, going into the garage.
Because I'm just thinking if they're parking way back here, you're gonna have people walking in the drive, is the only thing to get to the front door.
But like you said, if you made the fence here, and then they drive in and out, like you said there.
And that garage is gonna be that building right there,
So
right?
this is the office space. and
Okay.
This is the garage.
Okay, and it's just gonna be repair?
Yes, repair.
No painting whatsoever.
Or any body work.
Yeah, no body work, no
body
painting?
work, no painting.
Yeah.
That's just under way too much regulation, period.
Absolutely.
Assuming that the buildings are stable, do you plan to leave them, the
That's-
rest of them the same, or
The
you
south
plan
part
using
of the
them?
building, you're definitely right. South part of the building was renovated in the 70s, so a lot of the steel structure in there has got great integrity. The office would need remodeled. There are a couple of things that we have to get up to code, like all of, some of our windows and repainting. So we did talk to our code enforcement officer, and if, as long as we don't remove any of the exterior facade, we wouldn't disturb anything. So we would just be repainting the exterior steel structure and refinding that same steel structure and continue it onto the north part of the building so that the entire building is cohesive and all as one unit rather than separate units that look hodgepodgey.
Right. What about the silos, though?
The larger silos and the north part of the building, the tall historic part, in the future, after we focus on the automotive shop, would be eventually, at some point, again, off-topic, retail for automotive parts.
Not retail.
Isn't
It's
that
for
retail?
storage of parts, and possible some of the silos. The smaller silos we're looking to scrap. But yeah,
I thought you said the county commissioner was gonna have to come out there and look at that stuff first.
I would like him to, because when
Yeah,
the.
yeah, me too.
So at one point, the city did a walkthrough. This is actually in the county, so I'm not sure who you talked to, but you probably talked to the city code enforcement and building commissioner, which is actually the wrong person to tell you anything, because it's actually in the county. So it'd be our office and our building commissioner. But when we did walk around with the city, there was concerns on that, almost like a three-story, but that older portion
Yes.
of the elevator. I would, if there is something with that, it might become something that you'll have to do a lot sooner. Whether that means that you have to take it down to a one-story and put a roof on it, or if you have to go in and fix it. I know that even some of the areas still had corn sitting in it.
so we went through and emptied a lot of the property, and there was, there was thousands and thousands of pounds of just lots of stuff. Actually have contacted the Historical Society for a lot of it. But yes, there was a lot of just even feces and stuff that we've completely cleared everything out, gotten everything out.
So I would just have the building commissioner review. I think the structure that you're talking about, the office and the commercial
Absolutely.
garage, I don't see that those being issues.
No, those are in fantastic
The
shape.
other portion of the building is my major concern.
Yes.
And I even think when we went, the silos weren't terrible. I think there might have been one that was a concern, but most of them were okay. It was just that northern portion has really been the problem.
So what's the floor elevation of your proposed garage? Like how high up is it?
From the ground,
Yeah.
you're talking about 3.5, 4 feet, and believe me, that concrete, my goodness, in that time period, they really did well.
But you're going to have a pretty good
Yeah.
slope out
Yes,
as
yes.
drive. You're going to lose a lot of room to those silos.
Yeah, we currently have gravel down, which has been getting us in and out of the building. We have a gradual gravel increase and incline.
Yes.
There's an incline into the garage part in the east side.
So you're already operating out of this?
No, we have not been
No,
operating.
you're not.
He
So
has,
what's your timeline of getting this completed before you actually open for business? Because it seems like a huge undertaking.
yes. We're hoping to be able to operate so that we can get it done as soon as possible. Obviously, we're not going to lollygag or anything. It is our main priority. And in the process.
Give us a guesstimate, though.
I wouldn't say any more than at 1 to 2 years. We should have everything painted, fencing up.
Sure, the question is when you're gonna start operation, so what are you gonna do before you start operation? I know there's stuff that you wanna do after operation.
Oh,
Create a handicap accessible railing outside for people with disabilities. We need to obligate and figure out our parking plan, because we need to get our property lines checked so that we can no longer be like, oh, well, we don't know. So that'll be one of our biggest priorities so that we can finally get this fencing ordeal fixed. Another thing is so that we can get our office remodeled a little bit, because it hasn't been tampered with in several years. But
Other than that, everything, the concretes and everything, it's pretty much ready to go. The garage itself is in fantastic condition. Everything's like built to last 100 years. It's so well built. There's only one leak in the entire building, which is in the office space. And it's very, like I said, it's very minor, easy to fix. But as far as the garage part and the part that we need to operate the garage, it's in fantastic shape.
Yeah.
I guess my concern would be is not getting the office itself up to standard before you actually open to operate.
So
Is what-
it's
what's
not
fine.
terrible to where we can't operate out of it. It's got wood paneling in there and everything, and the leak is very minimal. And we've cleaned it up to the point where it is usable. It's just obviously we have to have the handicap, but the office space is usable. It's very large. We just want to update it for our, I guess, more aesthetic.
Aesthetic reasons. It's just, yeah, not the image I want to present.
There's nothing hazardous in the office space. And until we get the office space done, I mean, I can operate through the garage. The garage is very large, so.
What's your time frame on fencing? Typically, we want that up before starting operations as well.
Absolutely.
He just has zero funds right now, so he's trying his best to get everything put together. Fencing, we can probably make happen, I would say, pretty quickly. I mean, I can.
Well, we'll have to have a condition on it, and we'll have a
Absolutely.
stipulation on that
Absolutely.
time period.
Yes.
So we don't want a probable, we want to,
What do you guys feel is a reasonable time frame?
8 months.
no, the board will probably
That's just say
talk
we're
about
getting into
that.
winter, you're not gonna be digging in winter time to be.
Yeah, I
That's
would
the
think
problem.
last, when we were at 26, 25, I think they had given us a year, 12 months, which I feel like we can definitely get a fence up in
I think
12.
that was because you were in operation before. Typically, when we approve anything, those type of things have to be done before
Before.
operation starts.
Got you.
Because you're gonna start collecting vehicles, you're gonna start having vehicles there, people start dropping off vehicles
Right.
as you're operating. Now, what you could do is do a small area.
Yeah, we could,
That's the only area you're using for now.
Yeah, that's-
Expand on that fencing to
Right.
include a larger area as, you know,
absolutely. So they're 8-foot fence that kind of runs diagonally. We can just continue the fencing to where we need it on that side of the property, which would conceal all the cars and vehicles on the property, which would be the minimal way to go, and it would be quick because it would be not highly cost.
Is the office area floor, is it 4 feet above grade too?
Yeah, everything's the same level.
So you know
It's
you're
on
gonna
very
need-
thick
You're going to
concrete.
need about 48 feet for a ramp.
A lot of
At
what's,
the full length, we would probably split that by a couple of levels.
yeah, the ramp will luckily be,
It'll be longer because you have to have landings.
yeah, the way it's set up on the front of the building, it's actually pretty easy to get the ramp in. We have plenty of length to get the ramp in, plus plenty of excess.
On a
On
really
the front of the
decent-
building, its elevation is about 1.5 to 2 feet. On the back of the building, it's at 4 feet.
Right now, there's concrete steps, so we would just kind of make a concrete ramp right by those to allow for handicap.
Looks like at least 2 feet.
You can kind of see it right there.
Yeah, you can see it's 2 steps to
If
get
you
to
go
the
back to
front
that
door.
other. That one. One
That one
more.
right there.
So here's the steps currently, this is the front door of the office, the concrete steps, we would just make more of a ramp for handicap accessible.
I would.
Well, it's going to be kind of substantial.
Yes,
You have
yes.
to have.
Concrete nowadays is
I
pricey.
mean, the length and
The length, yes, but I mean,
At that door, it's not much of a problem. At the other.
it'll run alongside the building
Yeah.
rather than jut out towards the street.
Did you have the property surveyed? Because this is kind of a big deal if we don't know.
Yeah, no, when we put up the fencing, we will get 2 points, we will get the necessary points of done, just to ensure that this is the property line, not the one shown on the older picture. We're hoping that this is it, and then once we get those lines set and we know for sure that this is our property line, we can get our fencing up.
It's going to be hard for us to make a decision.
With
Yeah,
I was
I
gonna say,
think
can
we're
you
gonna have-
table it until that's done? Because
Yeah,
I
you're
feel
gonna have
like
to get a lot
you're-
of stuff done, I think, before we can.
Yeah, because I feel like if you have the survey, then you could properly draw the lines, properly know where the fence is
Exactly.
at. And right now, we can't, I mean, how do we approve
With
anything if
that,
we don't have
without
the?
fence.
We can't go by,
No.
I think
Yes,
it's here.
yes.
Or-
But
It's not-
I would maybe recommend, since they already have 8-foot fence diagonal along with the woods in the back would be a great location currently for the cars to be. He can just move them all to there and it would be out of sight
I had to
completely.
contact the previous owner of Paul's Auto Salvage because the new owners didn't really know exactly how the permit tree went for that fence, for that 8-foot fence. I had to contact the previous owner and said that that's the fence and that was the property line that we had to get pre-approved for, which is why I believe the secondary picture, not this oversight view.
There might be a survey out there somewhere.
Yes.
With-
And if we take a metal detector, I'm sure there might even be rods in the ground. That's a
Yeah.
possibility. But either way, I mean, we'll find out the points and get that fence up on that side of the property.
I do feel like just for layout wise, and I know you guys want to start because you've already been ready to go. But I really think getting the commissioner out there and looking at the building.
That's the first thing.
Finding that property line
Yes.
so we can lay out appropriately. I
Yes.
know that you're a different time frame than us.
Yeah, no.
But I really think that in the long run, having that, the board will feel more comfortable instead of just denying it because they don't have enough information.
Yeah, we don't want to deny it, we want
No.
to see some progress off it, and we want to see that fence going up too.
Yeah, we want to see the area kept nice and and we are more than willing to do whatever you guys like to make you feel comfortable so that we can be there and make the area continue to look nice.
And when did you guys purchase the property?
We purchased it,
4 or 5 months ago?
it was in, I believe, the end of
Okay.
June.
Well, I just looked it up, it was April.
Okay, thank you.
I would recommend that if you guys do want to, it'd just be a continuance, not a
Oh, it'll
table.
have to be a continuous.
But I would suggest if you guys continue it, that at least the vehicles that are on site right now, I would like you guys to move them to the rear so they're not in the front.
Yes.
While because really this board could say, you're not in compliance, so we don't want to hear your case at all. I mean, they have that opportunity. So the more that we can keep you guys, it's away, we're not working on anything, it doesn't have as much issues because you're trying to stay in compliance versus I'm working, we have tons of vehicles everywhere. It doesn't show that you're going to be working with us to make it look like you
Right.
say you're going to, so.
Absolutely.
What's the rear, the east end or the south end? Because the south end, the east end is where they would go.
Yeah, I would say east-south.
Okay. Another thing.
Go back to that picture, Jamie. I mean, if they're back in that corner where those are, and this might be a newer picture, I don't know if this is a newer or older picture.
Yes, it's a newer one. The ladder's on that side. We had to take
Okay,
the signs down.
so the signs were down, the last time I drove by, the signs were still there, so the signs did come down, but, anyway, I think keeping them to the rear and not bringing more on there,
Yes, I agree.
while we figure out that, I think, getting the building commissioner out there, and also seeing if we can find a survey, maybe there's an existing survey, or trying to at least find the south side line is gonna be the biggest thing.
I think getting that fence up would be major too, and absolutely no work before you guys get that, like Aaron said on the survey, get that fence up. It's so hard to go ahead and approve something where we can't
Yeah.
really see what
Yeah,
we're
I
looking
totally
at.
understand.
We're opening a whole new can of worms, It's particularly here with, moving into something that's been 20
Yeah, I
years
understand.
vacant. But, we're here to work with you guys and make a real staple of this, but especially for something that's been in this condition for this long.
Yep.
So if you could, like, clean up your site plan a little bit with some dimensions and a couple of elevations. just
Okay.
And once
to-
you find that line, we can help you, because I can at least show you how Elevate works to kind of measure
To
out some
measure.
stuff.
Okay.
A little
Especially
bit
for
easier.
parking.
So as for the cars that were in the front of the building, I can't say that I did that out of them particularly because there's Paul's Auto Salvage, all right? And because Paul's is a recycling metal vicinity, unfortunately, some of the lower end folks like to go there to get a couple cents. They leave a lot of trash in front of the building. And a lot of those vehicles are kind of on their last leg, and I've had a huge issue with people working on disabled vehicles in front of the lot. And particularly with my zoning and not being able to do stuff like that, it puts me at risk.
Right.
So people would continuously, it's a huge issue. Every other day, I'm having to kick people off that front drive, and they're using that concrete weight scale as an area for them to work. And on top of that, the pothole maintenance on that corner of the lot, it is just tearing that property up. So I didn't really know what else to do other than move vehicles there to try to show that, hey, this place is no longer vacant. There's someone here. Please stop driving on private property, destroying the front facade of the building and leaving your remnants and oil stains of whatever it is that you decided to work on your vehicle. So I did put those vehicles there. I didn't really think of the repercussions of it either. But that was the reason that I had that done. Same thing for the signage. We had people help us move some stuff over to the property, and they offered to put it up, and the people put up the signs.
Yeah, because there were signs from your other place.
Yes, they did not put the coming soon part on it. And we missed your guys' board meeting before we got a chance to get anything approved or anything like that.
I think you hit the nail on the head when you say when people know that there's something there,
Yeah.
they'll stop with the
And
do
with
stuff
people
up
from
there.
Pulse too, they would bring their disabled vehicles through the property and remove compressors and stuff.
There is a lot
Still
going
vacant.
on the scrapyard side. There's just a lot of flowage and a lot going on right there. So we do want to deviate and separate ourselves from that. But at the same time, they do stuff that there's possible partnerships. They part out cars and sell parts and stuff. It's something that we could definitely partner on, and they've already agreed to take the scrap. You know, they're really awesome people. But again, we do want to be very nice, and that's our main thing. So I know you don't see that in a lot of the other auto shops around town, but we do strive on being clean, and we've already cleaned up the property a lot. There was a lot on that property that just we've taken out, and we've landscaped it. We've kept it mowed and kept it nicer than what it has been. at
And I
least.
do understand the impression of other auto shops that have left a nasty taste in your mouth, but I mean, we have operated before. We have been completely under compliance and very clean and cared about our aesthetics, that hopefully we have proven that to you under our last experience.
I remember.
If you guys are wanting
Tell us something
to
about that.
continue it, there
We'll
needs to
have
be a
to.
motion and a second and a vote on that then. And what they can do is, how continuances work is that the continuance is to the next scheduled meeting. So it'd be the next month.
Okay.
That if you don't have stuff ready by then, they can
It'll be the
continue it
following
again.
month.
So they can
Okay.
continue it until whatever they're wanting to see is provided.
I
for
think
them
you
to be able to
understand
make a
what we
vote.
want to see too, right?
And we're eager to get up and going, because I mean,
Because
that's
we would
kind of how
not
we
grant
make
that.
our living, so we're
understand.
not gonna lollygag, and we'll get done what you guys
We don't want
want.
to deny it, but we want to see some progress before.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everything, and you guys are good.
We're happy
So
to do so.
I'm going to make a motion that we continue case number 2521. Do I hear a second? All in favor? Aye. Okay, well, good luck, get done with what you have to get done with, and you can come back and we can talk then, okay?
Thank you,
Look
appreciate
into-
it.
Look into the survey.
Yeah, definitely.
Contact our office, we can get
definitely the
Ralph out there
fence.
to look at the buildings, and at least that'll get us starting to go in the right direction. Once we can get a survey, we can help you guys with kind of the layout and
We
our
don't fill it
standards
out.
and measuring and
Yeah.
those type of things, okay?
And you said Ralph is the
Ralph,
person to talk to?
yeah.
Call our
Yeah,
office
you're,
and
you're
we'll
just
help you.
right there, you're like the only one in that area that's in the county.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for your time, guys.
Good luck.
Thank you.
See you.
Thank you. Get that sent to you, too. Or brought to you.
Okay. The next case we will hear is 2523.
Just real quick, is anybody here for that case? Is everybody?
Oh,
for the
yeah,
next
is
one?
anybody here for the last case?
Okay, I just wanted to make sure they knew to continue it. Okay.
Okay. Next case we're going to hear is 2523. Will the secretary read the petition, please?
It's on the agenda part.
It's on your front page.
It's on your front page, yeah.
It's the middle one.
Middle?
2523.
Yeah, John, in the middle.
The petition of James Gross requesting a use variance and various variances from developmental standards to operate an auto shop / commercial garage. The property is located at 2105 North 3rd Street, Logansport, Indiana, 46947, and is zoned FR Fringe Residential.
Thank you. Report, please. Finance staff report,
Okay.
please. Sorry.
I was busy.
It's okay.
So they're requesting to have an auto shop, commercial garage. And I will tell you that they have received enforcement letters about running a business and exceeding the number of inoperable vehicles allowed on the property. They have also been on the Cass County Plan Commission's unsafe property list since March for the number of inoperable vehicles and parts in view and the public property. And the same thing with the automobile service stations. They have to have so much lot area. You may want to ask if they have, how many service bays. I think they only have one maybe in their garage. So for landscape and buffering, he does plan to put up a 6-foot privacy fence to the west of the house. So here's the property. This is North Third, goes into 17 Hillcrest Baptist. This is Fennell Drive. And so this is his property. And this is not an updated one. He has a garage that he built over here, Holborn. And there's a site plan. So he does plan on putting a privacy fence to the west of the house to help block the view from the public. Same thing, there shall be no outdoor storage of merchandise such as tires, lubricants, and there shall be no outdoor storage of discarded auto parts. Vehicles shall not be stored outside while awaiting repairs for more than 7 days. No vehicles may be parked or stored on any public right-of-way. Disabled vehicles may not be stored in the open at any time, and then parking areas, buffer yards, and signs shall meet the zoning ordinance. And you may want to ask if, or you need to ask if the petitioner will be doing any body work or painting. No additional lighting is proposed, no signage is proposed. Please note that if they do plan on any future signage, they would have to come back to this board for approval. The hours of operation, he does not work out in the garage. No, he does work out in the garage before and after his full-time job. There are no set hours and he's not open to the public. The board should be specific about hours since there's no noise ordinance in the county. So you may want to set certain times that. And then for parking and access, there are drives off of 3rd Street and Fennell Drive. Proposing to park 2 inoperable vehicles in front of the detached garage, and all other vehicles will be behind the house to the west in the fenced-in area. And then they are classification M, which is 2 spaces per service stall, and then 1 per employee. The petitioner and his son live at the property, and so they park in the either attached garage or in the driveway. He has a drive out front, and then I think he did get a permit for another drive to connect that drive over here from the highway department. And then for landscaping and buffer, it's a classification E level 5, and he just plans to put up the 6-foot privacy fence to block the vehicles in the west of the house. And so he would need a variance for that buffer. And for this one, we also said that the fence must be put up before any operations can occur as a condition. And then we added other commitments. One of them, that the approval only runs with the current property owner. And then all the ones about fluids and other waste be disposed of properly, no salvaging of parts, vehicles stored outside no more than 7 days. And then we put in here that a maximum of 7 vehicles be allowed on site that are awaiting repair. That would be in the fence, and then if he's got the 2 where he said he'd park them out front of this garage. This is the property. So almost right here is about where he would have another drive come onto Fennell to meet this drive and kind of come up this way. Oh, I went wrong, sorry.
So just based on this picture, you said that only 2 vehicles out front, right? Have you been this vehicle, this picture shows several.
Yeah.
It would be 2 that are not theirs.
So another thing is this is in the county, so you're looking at it because it's in the fringe. But the other issue is that we don't have anything saying you have to be parked in a drive or anything like that. So it ends up happening in some of the scenarios, have friends over, whatever, they end up parking into the grass area and along the side street and things like that. But to know which ones are for the business and which ones are there to visit, that's hard to know.
Done?
That's all I have.
Thank you. Will the petitioner please advance to the microphone, state your name and address for the record?
James Gross, 2105 North 3rd Street.
Oh, one thing I want to ask you, Mr. Gross, is why you're ignoring the enforcement letters.
I got everything in compliance. There was a lot going on over the winter. Since then, I haven't been ignoring them. I've been going to all the meetings. It's been a slow process. I work a full-time job.
Sure, I understand.
I'm not asking for this to be open to the public or nothing. I buy cars. I might put a motor in a car. I might put a transmission in a car. I got another property in Carroll County as a storage yard. And so like all my storage goes out there unless I'm working on it, and then it comes there. So there's not going to be people dropping cars off in the middle of the night or unless it's me. No business hours, there's no office, you know what I mean? It's just me working in my own garage, me and my son. That's what we do together.
Is it all mechanic work, or do you do any
It's
auto
just all
body?
mechanic work.
No auto body at all?
No.
No painting?
Questions?
What's your timeline on your fence? When do you want your fence up?
I could have
Plan
it,
to have the fence up?
I could probably have it up at the beginning of the next month.
That would be a condition if we would approve it, not a probable, but we need to know 2 months, 1 month.
I'd probably have it up 1 month, about this time in the middle of the month. I'll have about a week off work. We'll put it up then.
Service bays are available.
I got the 2 doors you see in the front, and one of them's a drive-through, the other side, so that could be technically 3. That's just so I can drive through with a trailer, maybe unload a car or something with it.
Is there a right of way for the highway?
It's a weird right of way.
Yeah.
Is this the property line?
The red is,
Because
they might not be absolutely correct, but
it appears where your drawing is for the fence, it's not on your property.
So
It's like,
similar to the other
house.
one, we don't know exactly where property lines are, and so that's what makes it hard when we approve that they can go in that area. So I don't know exactly where the property line is.
There's a
That's just-
pre-existing fence already, sorry. There's a pre-existing fence already there in the line when I moved in. All I'm gonna do is make it taller.
There's already a fence there.
There was, yes,
There was, it's not there anymore.
right. Because I'm gonna
So
put
then is a
taller.
survey getting done to make sure that it's on your correct property line?
That can
believe
be
there's already a
something
survey.
that if you guys would approve it, you could approve with a condition that they do that.
There's already a survey on file.
survey does show it like 5 feet from the house. There'd be no way to access
Wouldn't be
that.
able to use this drive that's being shown right here if it only goes to the house. So if they have a survey and we need the survey before we can issue the okay for him to operate, let's say you approve it with that condition, and it doesn't meet where he's stating he's gonna put the fence in and stuff like that, we would have to come back to you because now the layout's different.
the original blueprint for the shop that was up there that I put, those are all measured off of the original survey. If you look close at it, you'll see the feet, how many feet it is off the road, how many feet to the property line, how many feet from the road to the center of the road or whatnot. All the measurements should be written on there.
What's your plan for your new drive?
It's just gonna come into the other one, and occasionally my son or I will park right there, and it's just gonna be 2 cars wide, and it'll come out the same area as that the neighbor's driveway does, straight across from theirs. I get this off highway.
They would just park
parking.
in the grass, which we can't say, I mean, nobody can say anything about that.
No.
I mean,
they're
you
gonna have a
guys can
drive,
put a
that's different.
standard in
Yeah.
place, but there's not anything, because they're in the county for that.
It would line up pretty much with this drive over here.
So it's mainly for parking then?
But it was just for like our immediate, like if I'm bringing something in on a trailer, my kid uses the trailer sometimes, we might park it right there instead of being in front of the building.
Okay.
Just trying to make it more presentable.
And do you
We've been
have-
trying to do all the offloading in the driveway in the back, that way it's not a hindrance.
and we were needing to discuss specific hours that you'd be working.
I go to work at 1, I leave for work at 1, so like I'm usually out there like 9 o'clock in the morning to, 12:30, 1 o'clock. And then I get off at 10:30 and sometimes I go out there for an hour or 2 after work.
So this, I mean, it sounds like a hobby shop to me.
That's all it is.
Do you have, I mean, because I'm not a mechanic I've never been in any of that, but you have to wonder, what are the safety issues? Like, I mean, anything with gasoline could spark at any time. So what are your safety measures, or do you have fire suppression, or do you
Yeah, I
have
got
any?
fire extinguishers, the main entrance on the back and then the walk-in entrance that connects the buildings. In the
Okay.
middle, there's 2 fire extinguishers in there.
I think we want to see a survey first and a fence, and I think we want at least some days of hours that you're going to do that set for the board.
All right.
There's no, like we said earlier, there's no noise ordinance or anything like that, so hours are important for the.
Say that again.
This is a residential area in a subdivision. The only thing in the area that's similar, not similar, but has a lot of traffic would be a church that's across the street. Do you have a larger of the area, Jamie?
So you might be working at midnight on,
Yeah, I don't, try to not go out there like running a grinder or anything, but yeah, occasionally.
Excuse me. Do we want to let the audience, public speak, since it looks like we have a few?
There's a few out there.
Jeff, do you want to open it to the audience?
Oh, yeah, sure. Thanks.
You can sit in the front row, or you can.
Is there anyone in the audience who would like to ask any questions, add any information, or give any evidence in the case? If so, please advance to the microphone, state your name and address for the record, so whoever wants to come first, that's fine. Can I get a hand, how many hands are going to testify today? Okay, give it 5 minutes.
My name's Ed Merrill. I live north of Mr. Gross's property.
Okay.
We've experienced a lot of issues, a lot of cars piled all around the house, and he's not even supposed to be having a business. He is running a business.
Okay.
And he doesn't really have 100% sure where his property line is. We've had major issues with that.
I can't really hear you. Do we have a microphone for
Maybe scoot
you?
over to the next chair.
Yeah, 'cause,
Sorry.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
He's not even sure 100% where his property line is. He was supposed to be having it surveyed and never has done that.
Yep.
I have my property surveyed. Mr. Kripe has his property surveyed. He does not. And he's.
So you have survey lines marked on yours?
I have my plat survey. I don't have the exact mark. Whenever the construction went on when I built the house, those got displaced. And my major concern is what is this going to do to my property value that my taxes just went up? That area is just now starting to come up in value really well, and I really don't want to see something come in that's going to depreciate my property. That's a major concern.
right.
Amongst the noise, whatever hours he plans on being out there, we have noise now, all hours, revving up engines, whatever, working in there, making noise, doors up.
All right, well, thank you. Anyone else who wants to make comments or give any evidence, just state your name and address for the record.
Corey Cripe, 25 Fennell Drive. My property is to the west of Mr. Gross's. So, doing a little research here. Negative impact stems from several factors associated with commercial operations in the residential area and noise pollution from grinding ratchets. General repair work, especially at night, can significantly disrupt peace and quiet in the neighborhood. Visual blight such as multiple vehicles, some potentially inoperable or with expired plates or no plates, parked in the driveway on the street can create an eyesore that distracts from the aesthetic appeal of the area. Hang on a second, there we go. Furthermore, increased traffic from customers, tow trucks, and maybe lead to safety concerns, particularly for children. The presence of commercial business can alter the residential character of the street, making it less desirable for potential home buyers seeking a quiet, family-oriented place to live. While specific percentages decreases are difficult to quantify without professional appraisal, the general consensus is that the change in adjacent land will negatively affect residential property values. I have several sources that I looked up. I also talked to a realtor friend of mine. She did some comps here in town, and one of the places that she come up with that sold near a commercial area, that particular house sold for about 30% less than what other houses in that same type of build would have been. So if I'm looking at my investment, as you would look at as your house and your investment, potentially a 30% loss on my value, plus you're talking about on top of that, potentially, according to my realtor friend, 50% of the people who would maybe want to buy your house are going to be crossed off the list as soon as they see a commercial garage next door. So now, not only is my value of my home going to be decreased, now I don't have the opportunity to have a bidding war because I've got people that would buy it otherwise. So my concern again is, I purchased a property, I built that property in an area where it was safe for my kids and quiet, and it was a residential area. If I wanted to be in a noisy area, and like I would have stayed where I was at before. But I had the opportunity to build and to get into a quieter neighborhood for my kids, my family, and now what's this going to do? It's not what I purchased, it's not what my home value is going to be. Thank you.
Anybody else would like to come up, give testimony? Please state your name and address, ma'am.
My name is Karen Price, and I live at 30 Fennell Drive.
Okay.
A little bit of background. I've been there about 60 years.
You've been there a while, haven't you, honey?
Yes, I have. It's always been a residential area.
Yep.
The kids have always ridden their bikes in the street because we have no sidewalks. They've skateboarded and everything else, and it's always been safe. It's a neighborhood that...
It's a quiet neighborhood.
It's a quiet neighborhood, and everybody that has lived out there in the past and most of the present now slow down because they know that the kids are walking their dogs or they're riding a bike.
Yeah.
And our roads don't go anywhere. They connect with the state road, 3rd Street, and they connect with Northern Avenue. Now, my other concern is if you let him put another driveway onto his property off of Fennell Drive, you have 3 driveways onto his property. and two of them are on Fennell Drive, would not be 15 feet apart. And one across the street, that they don't have any choice, that goes into their garage.
Yeah.
So you would have a congestion of the highway coming in and three driveways in less than 20 feet from the road.
Okay.
So that's a big concern there, traffic-wise and accident-wise. Because he not only pulls cars in there, he pulls trailers in and then backs them up.
I understand, ma'am.
And I'm very disappointed because he told the commissioners, and told us in commissioners' meetings, that this garage he was building was strictly for his personal use. It was not being set up for a business.
Okay.
Now, back 3 years ago, he had a lift attached to the concrete in front of his house. The garage wasn't there. I complained then that he was running a business because I started seeing the cars come in and out. And I was assured there was no business there, it was just his personal usage. Now, when you go past, I've had friends and neighbors say, "What's going on? It looks like a junkyard. Why would you want this in your front yard, an entryway into your addition?" It is, he's had up to 20 cars parked there. And it's not a good thing. And my opinion is mostly my opinion, not necessarily that of everybody in the
No,
commission.
that's what you're
But I've
here
been
for.
there, like I said, about
Okay.
60 years,
All
and
right. Right. Thank you, ma'am.
thank you.
You got one more.
Anyone else?
My name's Thomas Meckling. I'm at 2100 North 3rd Street, so just across the street. And I'm also a pastor at Hillcrest at 2100 or 2110. I'm not opposed to it at all. I have young kids, and my family has never felt unsafe with the cars and with the traffic. Mr. Gross is a man that has been kind to me and my family, and he's a man that wants to have a hobby, and his hobby just tends to take up a little more space than some people's hobbies. And so personally, I, again, never felt unsafe. He's been kind to me, and I have no problem with him being.
I think, sir. Do we have any written correspondence on file for the case?
No.
Any written correspondence for the
No,
case?
but I wanted to point out that some of the, a little bit more of the history, Jamie touched on it a little bit. But so, we did, get some calls, it's probably been going on 2 years, when he first had the lift. Obviously, there's a point of doing a hobby, and, you know, you work on a car, your one car or something. But we have had 15 or more cars in the last year, being there. I know they say that they're only gonna do 7. The concern has been when we met, with the Cass County Plan Commission is they may only have 7 they're working on, but then they have 10 people visiting, so that impacts what they're seeing out there as the neighbors too. So not knowing what's there visiting because they're just parking in the grass or right along Fennell, whatever street that's called, has been the concern. So, that's why it went through the unsafe process, because the fact is the business wasn't allowed, but they were also having a bunch of vehicles that weren't licensed, because he goes to auction, so they don't have like an actual license plate and those type of things, and then registration changes. So I think one of the things is that we do have people that do hobbies where it's just their vehicle and they have it in there and work on one. I think the commissioner, unsafe-wise, they were considering it more than just a hobby because of the number of vehicles that were being held there and being worked on. So that's why we told him that he would need to come through this process and get it as a business.
I think, Aaron. Would you like to rebut? Would you like to make any
Wanna
other
rebuttal?
comments?
I just want everybody to know that I got everything under control now. Like, I got another storage place that I keep my extra cars. Over the winter, it got real messy, and I do apologize for that, because it's cold out, snowing. Car roll-up trailer, I put it there, in the back drive, I had them lined up back there. But they've all been moved. If I'm not working on it, I don't bring it to the house. I got vehicles inside. I'm within the allotted amount of other vehicles outside that I might work on. None of them are like missing parts, or they're all whole cars, they're not sitting out there flat tires.
How long is, if you're working on a vehicle, how long is it gonna sit?
I mean, I can adjust it accordingly to whatever you need.
That's not what I'm asking.
I know, I'm trying to think of a time frame. I mean, I sit
typical
out there a
7
couple-
days.
Right,
Yeah, right. Longer than 7, 10, 12, 14?
potentially, I mean,
Which
sometimes,
is kind of a big issue here.
okay.
My concern would be because you do work full-time, and you work
And
on a lot,
we
so that's.
still don't have the hours set.
Right.
I mean, there's people, it's a residential area, who want to sleep.
And nobody comes, we don't even drive down, like, I try, occasionally, if I got my big trailer on, I drive down that, because it's safer, instead of trying to back out onto the big road. I'll go down through that way, but we don't promote traffic down that way, we hardly ever go down that way. My son occasionally, he might go out there if he's working on his car, because he works the same hours as me at the same place. He might be loud occasionally, rev up his motor or something if he was working
How
on
many
it.
vehicles do you work on at a time? If you have 7 vehicles there, are you working on all
That's
7
too
of
many.
them?
Not necessarily.
Typical, you're working.
Like, I might pull something in, if I get it, I'm gonna pull it in, I'm gonna diagnose the problem, and then however long it takes to order the parts, get it there, or whatnot. But yeah, I mean, just,
Because to me, 7, does your son live there?
yes.
So to me, 7 is a lot to diagnose, hold, and work on when you both have full-time jobs.
Absolutely.
And that's why I'm saying, this is really exceeding, I understand it's a hobby, and you're selling, and you're doing whatever, and you're going to auction, but it exceeds a hobby, because that's usually, I work on one, my son works on one, we get it done, we get them out, you're looking to do 7. And I think that impacts the neighborhood when you have so many vehicles.
And when you have like 2 or 3 of them sitting and waiting too,
Right,
obviously the community
like right now.
is not really appreciated.
Yeah, the biggest complaint was in the past, and I cleaned it up and I addressed the situation. I purchased other property, and I got a storage spot for all the cars that I originally had there, so that issue won't accumulate. But
Right, and since you have that now, that's what I'm asking, like,
Right.
is 3 vehicles there really more of what you're working on?
yeah, I mean, really, I can drop it down to more than that, if you're less than that, if you want. I mean, I'm willing to accommodate.
If we do that, are we voting on something that we don't have to? I mean, if he's able to
No,
use
he's
his
not allowed
storage-
to operate a commercial. Even if
No.
you're a home occupation
Yeah,
and you're
no.
working on vehicles, commercial garages, period, even if
No,
it's
no.
like, because he's switching them out. It's not like I just have a car that I work on. He's actually buying vehicles to work on and to sell.
Matter the number of vehicles, it's still.
No, because it's still a business that he's doing. He's going to auction, fixing them up and selling them. There's state laws on how many he can even sell. So like after 10, he actually has to get a licensing for that. So it's different than, I have a car that I work on and then it's my hobby truck that I drive and I keep. That's different than the rotation.
Since you have a new facility now, you can't do that work out of that facility? So that way this one is actually
Not
just your
really.
residence?
It's not built for that. It's a storage facility. I got all indoor storage, but I don't have, it ain't all finished. I mean, if that makes sense, right? Like, this is all finished, it's all been redone, it's all brand new, it's all drywall, it looks nice. I mean, I don't know.
So this-
I got lifts in there, I mean, all my equipment's set up, it was built for this sole purpose to,
I think my other concern, and I don't know that, I mean, we might have talked about it at building commissioner, or at plan commission with the county, is my other concern is that building was built for residential, and there's some commercial
if they approve it, we might have to have you file with the state on the building because it now is being used for more commercial type of use versus just storing a vehicle. So anytime that we do this, like even the last case when he's going to remodel his office space, he may have to still submit to the state because anything that deals with anything commercial has to get state approval. So just for your knowledge, you may have stuff there, but the state may require you to actually put another exit out or, I don't know, they do random things.
That was a big part about the other drive onto for now, so we could turn and go at the stop sign instead of people leaving in and out of the driveway as much, which would affect the stop sign more, if that makes sense.
This might
I'm
not be
talking about the
relevant.
building itself.
Oh, okay.
Just a random question, with the neighboring properties, would you be more satisfied if a survey was completed and a fence was put up and the extra vehicles were inside the fence so that you couldn't see them?
That would
Not at
be in
all.
the commission,
Okay, I was
or
just
commi-
kind of curious.
'Cause that's
Well,
what
that
he's
would be a
submitting right
commitment.
now. He's submitting a fence and then he's putting the vehicles in that fence. That's how his submittal is.
That's a commitment.
Yeah.
That we have to.
That's what he was already putting in here.
Okay.
That's the property. Aaron, I'm just curious, because I thought I'm thinking in my mind, we had a case that was similar. Somebody was wanting to build a garage that was in city limits, and we had to review it because the garage was actually taller and bigger than the house. This garage is taller. I don't know if it's bigger, but it's taller than the home. Was that approved? That was fine?
So his is,
Range is okay?
under 16, so it's fine.
Okay, so it
because
doesn't matter if it's bigger than the
Yeah,
house.
so even if the house is 12, our requirement is 16, so some
like a
houses are a little
one-story
shorter,
and-
but,
Yeah.
yeah. You did have a case like this that you guys denied inside the city because he was just using a garage that he had for the use, and it was impacting, obviously, I think that one was more of parking on the street, really, because of the neighborhood it was in, but. But we've heard other cases like this where it's a hobby, but it's not a hobby when it's vehicles
Yeah,
that are
it gets out of
rotating.
hand, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Does the board have any conditions of approval? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, John, go ahead.
It's Corey, the property next. Do you have an idea where the property line is?
There was a fence at the back of Mr. Gross's property at that one time, and the property line was just about mower's width off of that. There's actually a tree planted that I planted on the,
You need to come up here because we have to hear his
Sorry.
testimony.
there's actually a tree that I planted that was inside my property line.
Hang
You can
on.
point it out, but just stand by that microphone.
Just stand by the mic, please, and let us know.
So, can you pull it up?
Say your name again, because.
Corey Cripe,
All right,
25.
go ahead.
We'll just go here. Maybe.
There's a pin in the ground somewhere, but when they brought out the fill dirt in that area, when they were doing city water and sewage, they covered my pin, but I planted a tree where that pin was at.
So that's not correct then?
So there's a.
They're not
so
always right.
This, actually, you can see here, there's the fence right there, and this isn't old enough fence here, but there's my tree that I planted, and just inside towards Mr. Gross's property, about 6 feet, should be the property line.
All right.
So you can see, there's a fence right there in there.
You can almost see it with the different color
Yeah, you-
grass.
All right,
So the
thank
fence
you.
is shown there, and it's just. like I
That
said,
line might be 5-6 feet off.
Yeah,
All right,
But
Thank you.
even if that's the case, I think the issue is that if we're going based off what he thinks, I don't know there's enough room for that drive that's there, because that drive is not right against that house. That drive's probably on the
close.
property line. I just think having a survey is going to solve some of the dispute of where that line is and where that fence goes and where all of that's happening, if it gets approved.
when I put the drive in,
Would that be a commitment? We'd have to have a survey?
I
or
would
we
do it
wanna
as a
go ahead and
condition that
continue?
a survey be done before the fence is
Board,
put
do we
up.
want a survey done before, so this would be another continuance then?
No, you can do, this
Oh,
one, he's
okay.
not relaying out.
Okay. So
Now,
it'll be a commitment.
if it's
Right.
proved that it's not the right line, what you're saying is not the right line, you may have to come back, let's say the line ends up next to your house. Well, now how you get into your fence, et cetera, et
Right.
cetera.
We'd have to put that
But if
in.
the line is where he's saying it is, then the layout works. Where the last one, neither layout really worked.
Okay.
when I put the driveway in, I had the measuring tape. Corey accompanied me out there and we agreed on a mark that was on the line of the tape measure. Just as a courtesy, to my neighbor.
No.
I didn't want to put something in and didn't think there's a few inches this way or that way. And we were both, comfortable with the presentation of it.
Would you say that that drive is on, like, right next to the line?
The fence would be on the other side of the driveway.
No, but right now, where that drive is, would you say the line is what is that, the west side of the drive?
Right in there. And right there in the middle, it may have went over a little bit. It may have arched a little bit. It kind of looks like from there
The only
anyway.
reason why I say that is because if that is the case, drives are supposed to be, 5 feet from property lines? So we would need to add a variance for the 5 foot from that property line.
Then the fence would be on this side of it.
On the west side of the drive or next to the house?
The east, closer to the house.
Okay. And then you would drive into the fence
Yeah,
when you got back?
it would- Right, it would have the option to drive right there.
So that would have to be a commitment, is what you're saying here?
That's
Well, I mean,
up
that
to
would-
this board if you want
Yeah.
to make it a commitment to
If we
do a
want to make that
survey.
commitment, what's the board think?
Sorry, yes, a condition.
I'm sorry.
That's what I
what?
said earlier.
It's a condition.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Condition?
So you guys
Does the board
can, you
want- Does the
can,
board want to put the
Yeah.
condition in? If it were approved?
you guys can vote on it if it's easier.
Okay. We want to make a motion to put a survey in, contingents on getting this approval of the variance to,
Is there a second for a
yeah,
survey being a condition?
will I have a second first? Wait a minute. Do we have a second on the stated condition for the survey?
Is this before any fences installed or before any work?
Yeah, so the survey would be
Yeah,
a
probably.
condition before the fence would be installed.
Yeah, it would be 4.
We're saying that only if this gets approved though, correct?
It's
Yeah, but you
in-
put
it's
it in
condition.
because you don't know, like, even if
We
you
don't
vote
know.
no and the other 3 vote yes,
Right,
if you don't put the
yeah.
condition in before you vote on it,
Right.
then it won't be there. So you have to put every
Put
condition that
minimum
you would
condition.
want on the
Okay.
property before
But
actually voting.
I made the motion, but I don't have a second. So do I hear a second?
Before I say anything else, because we were just asking him about fencing. We were asking him how soon he could do it. So now if he has to have a survey, are you going to have to change that too?
No, he would just have to put it doesn't, he
Yeah,
would-
that's probably
there's
true.
a commitment, we can read all the commitments, but the fence just has to be in before operations occur. So if he needs to do a survey before he puts in the fence,
Which
he
makes
just
it
won't be operating
perfectly
yet.
simple. I mean, he says there has to be a survey before a fence gets in.
But he's already operating.
I know.
No, I haven't-
That makes it-
Yeah, I haven't operated since the last meeting.
So if you're
So
going to
the
make a
con-
motion to make a survey.
We'll make a
con-
motion that
condition-
survey has to be put in first and then the fence.
A survey would be done before a fence would be
There
installed,
you
and
go.
the
A
fence would
survey,
have to be
yeah,
installed
yeah.
before the operations would occur. So he wouldn't be able to do any work until both those things are taken care
Then
of.
that would be a condition. So
Is there a
that's what we're
deadline on the
gonna,
fence?
Huh?
And is there a deadline on the fence?
The fence just has to be done before operations occur, so he
No
can't
6
be
months.
operating without that fence.
No 6 months or a year, doesn't matter, just,
Yeah.
okay.
And he'll have to have the state permit before he
On the
do
building,
the fence.
And is
Well,
there
he wouldn't need a
conditions
state permit on the fence.
If we
No,
approve
but
it.
Yeah,
if
if,
it fails on the building,
right, so we would check in, if it gets approved, we would check in to see with the state if he has to do anything. He
Okay.
may not, because it's small enough or what have you, but it's something that we would do on our end.
And this one, I will be allowed to work on my personal vehicles, right? Like my everyday daily drivers, like my son still works
That's
on his
more-
car that's
yeah.
plated and
It's your car that.
I just don't want anybody to get a misunderstanding
Fine,
of that, like.
if
I still
it's anybody
have
else,
my
you can't.
garage for like my personal cars.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
But if it's anybody else,
Those
Right.
are allowed as of right. So if you have a car that you drive daily and you need to change the oil,
Right.
you can change the oil.
exactly.
I just didn't want no confusion with it.
So I don't want to get confused, but we'll make a condition on the survey done before the fence is done. And I suppose we have to have a state permit before that, so that's what,
Well, that's number 3. So number 3 says that all applicable state and local
Okay,
permits
yeah,
be
there you go.
obtained. So we'll check that one.
all
The
right.
second, the next one says fence must be put in before any operation can occur. What Jeff's asking is that, do we want to add a number 5 that says a survey must be done before the fence would be
Well, it sounds like the
installed?
board wants one. I'm gonna
I
ask,
think they were all wondering what was happening, so, is that clear now of just adding the survey would be done before the fence would be installed? If that's understood, Jeff motioned,
yeah, I did it.
now it's the time for a second, if there's
I
not
need
a
a
second,
second.
it'd be dead. Sounds like no second, so that's
I don't hear a
dead.
second, so that's out of the
Yeah.
table then. Okay. I'm good. Okay,
Any other conditions or commitments that the board wants to put on, even if you're voting no, I would put them on, because if you vote no and everybody else votes yes, only what's stated in the commitments and conditions would be what would be approved.
So since the survey is not a condition now, you did mention the driveway. Is that going to have to be an added?
Yeah, it'd be a variance from
Variance.
developmental standard of 5 feet. Now, we'll just, do you guys have a variance sheet? I think you're already giving, are they already giving some
Yeah.
variances or no?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, so
Yeah, for the
it would just
buffer.
be in with that same, the buffer, yeah, so it'd be in the same variance from developmental standard finding.
And the driveway, I got a permit for the approval for, the entrance and everything
From the highway department.
from the highway department. That's all been approved. That was done, just not.
Did you get this one though?
Yes, I got the permit for that and the other one.
Oh, at the same time?
Yeah, well, not at the same time. I got them 2 separate times, but I
Oh, I
got
thought we
that
never got
permit.
one on that one.
Yes. Yes, I
I
did.
think they finally sent it, maybe.
Yes. There was a permit for that. And I had a permit before I did it. It was just a confusion in there.
specific hours of operation.
yeah. Does the board want specific hours of operation? That's up to discussion.
Because if it's approved, we don't want the neighborhood up after 8 or 9 PM.
Say that again, maybe can't hear it.
Because it's in a residential area. I
Right.
think it should be no later than 8 or 9 PM.
Is
So
that
the
what the
neighbors
board
don't
wants to
have.
put? Yeah.
What's our normal noise ordinance? Is it 10 for here in town? Or, I don't know
I
what it
think,
is.
I'm not sure.
I don't know, it's,
I'm not opposed to it, I'm just curious what our normal
it's 10
ordinance
or
is.
11 in town.
Is that every day? Is that what, no more work than, that would be a condition
There's, I
set
think
forth
there's
before.
also some like excessive noise that can't occur anytime too. It's not just like a paragraph of the noise ordinance, there's an actual so just saying time in the city, it's not just time, there's also like excessive. So if someone's jamming out in the middle of the day, they still can go over there and.
Okay.
But we don't have that in the county at all, so just as an FYI.
We could put no more work after dusk, it's up to you guys what.
I would not do
we'll-
dusk or dawn, that is a problem every single time we do it.
Uh-huh.
Do not do that.
All right, then we'll,
Do not do that.
if everybody wants an hour, if we approve the hour that you would like, and then we can vote on that.
I mean, I'm just thinking, if you work second shift, then you clearly cannot work on anything after you get off work. It would only be the weekend, realistically. So then that's gonna delay how many vehicles are gonna stay in his lot.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, but he's only allowed, at this time, he's saying 7. So you guys can knock it down to less.
I don't
Or
want-
you allow him 7, but he can't bring any more than 7 there.
I don't think 7's proper. Doesn't sound like everybody else in the community wants 7 vehicles in there.
How many are you thinking, Jeff?
Well, I don't know. What everybody else, what do you guys want to think?
It sounds like him and his
7's
son.
way
work
too
on
much.
vehicles.
I would never approve 7. 2 or 3 as a condition?
I have no idea.
How many are you willing to go? 3,
How
4?
many willing are we?
4 of them would be, I mean. and-
4 sound better?
No?
3 sound better. I mean,
to me.
okay, so put your motion out for 3.
Okay, I want to put a motion that we can't have more than 3 vehicles that being repaired on this property at
And
one
that would
time.
just be parked out front, correct?
Yeah,
Oh, that'd be
Just on his park,
on his
lot
property. Yep.
to work on.
To work on, yeah.
Yeah,
He
on
can
his
have-
property to repair. No more than 3, if this board would approve the variance. I'm making the motion, and I need a second on that.
Second it.
All in favor? You second it?
I did.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye?
Opposed?
Aye. Opposed?
So all 4, okay, so 3.
3 would be the max, so that would be a condition, no more than 3.
Commitment.
Yes.
Pardon me?
That's a commitment. It's
Yeah,
already
yeah.
on there. It
And I'm
says 7,
sorry.
we change it to 3.
Okay.
Let's do this. Okay, so we said the fence has to be done before operations. Here are the other things that are on commitments, so that you can change them if you want. That there be no outdoor storage of materials such as tires, parts, supplies, equipment, or vehicles awaiting repair or under repair within the public view. So that means they'd have to have any vehicle they're working on in that fenced area he's talking about.
Or garage.
Huh?
Or garage.
Yes,
Or garage.
right.
That all fluids and other waste be disposed of properly. That's typical. That no salvaging of parts or materials are done, so we don't want it to become a salvage yard. Vehicles shall not be stored outside a lot or awaiting repairs for more than 7 consecutive calendar days. No vehicles may be parked or stored on any right-of-way. That's a typical for our commercial garages. So our typical is 7. You were saying that you didn't feel like 7 was gonna be enough days. If we're making it 3 vehicles now, maybe 7 is enough days, I don't know. That vehicles used for repair or waiting body repair be screened from view from a opaque fence at least 6 foot tall. So we're just making sure that fence is gonna be 6 foot tall and opaque, so privacy, whether it's vinyl or wood or something. That the maximum of 3 vehicles be allowed on site awaiting repair. That all vehicles for repair shall be stored in the fence, we're saying the fenced-in area a lot, but
Okay, well-
fenced-in area and all other vehicles, trailers, et cetera, only be parked in the driveways. So when you have people over, with the 3 driveways now gonna be enough space to have everybody park in the driveway and not, because one of the issues was parking on the grass and half in the street.
Right.
Well, if people come over, I mean, obviously, if you have one party once a year and it takes more, but we're
Right.
saying typically, everybody's gonna park in a driveway.
Yeah, it's a wraparound driveway, so.
Okay. That this approval only runs with the current property owner. So if you sold this property, this approval would not go to the next person buying this property.
Absolutely no body work or painting. We didn't put that in, did we?
No. So on number 5, we would take it, just so John knows, the vehicle is used for repair, or just used for repair, we'd take out or waiting body repair. So we just say vehicles used for repair be screened from view by opaque privacy fence. And then 9, you guys are gonna do specific hours. I'm gonna tell you that typically it's gonna be a 8 to 9, 8 to 10 scenario when we've done them before.
that doesn't mean this case has to be that way. This case can be less or more hours. You guys can say Monday through Friday, 8 to 8, Saturday, 7 to 11. It's totally up to this board what your time frame is gonna be.
Well, what does the board want to do for the hours?
Does your son also work second shift?
Yes,
So work would be only in the mornings, really?
right. for the most
I would
part.
do a time frame to a time frame, because
Yeah,
not that you're ever
right.
switching shifts, but saying like an 8 to an 8 or whatever to whatever, so that if he's off a day or he switches shifts, he would be able to do that at night.
Let's say Monday through Saturday, 8 to 8. That covers everything.
I would,
What-
I mean,
what
just
do you-
my opinion, I would think Monday to Friday would be one set time, and then a Saturday and a
Typically, that's what it is.
Sunday would be a different set time.
All right, tell me
I
stuff
mean,
you
like,
really want.
I mean, my thoughts are 8 to 9, Monday through Friday, and then 8 to even 10 on Saturday and Sunday, maybe. That's just a thought, I don't know.
Right.
That's, make that motion.
I make that motion, Monday through Friday, 8 to 9, Saturday, Sunday, 8 to 10.
Is there a second then?
Is there a second on it? She's made the motion, you second it, Mindy? I'm not seconding it, no. I just,
If there's no second, it dies, so is there a second? No, so it dies. Does anybody have another opinion on the time frame? This is a hard board to be on.
well, no, it's just hard to figure out what we want on the hours.
Just don't do dusk to dawn, because that kills us
Thank
every
you.
day.
Well,
We'll be back.
Every day that changes,
I
by
mean,
the
she
way.
said from 8 to 9 on Monday through Friday and Saturday, 8 to 10. So we can just cover Monday through, we can cover every day till 8 to 9, I don't know.
Okay, make that a motion.
I'm going to make the motion that we, if the variance would be approved, Monday through Sunday, 8 AM to 8 PM. Do I get a second? All right, that's not going to work. Then somebody's going to have to,
Do you have a time frame that you would like them to give you? They've done Monday through Friday, 8 to 9, Saturday, Sunday, 8
no
to
more.
10, and they've done Monday through Sunday, 8 to 8. What
I
would?
think the weekends, are you talking to me or?
Yes, I'm talking.
Okay, well, I didn't know, I heard somebody else start to talk, so I wasn't sure. But,
They'll be able to rebut some stuff here in a minute.
8 o'clock in the morning, I'm content with that. The loudest thing I really use, with grinder, I can be considerate, with that, would just be if I'm using an impact to take a tire or something off.
So what hours? We're looking for
8
hours.
o'clock, I mean, I'm even content with, through the week, 8, 9 o'clock, I mean.
So Monday to Friday, 8 to 9 is what you're suggesting?
But at the weekend, I mean, a little bit later would be nice, because those are the days I don't have to work, and potentially, I mean, neighbors are up late, they have
That was my thought.
no parties over there too, so it's not like,
Well, we already
I'm the
kinda
only
did
one.
that one, so
I
let's
did 8 to 9
try.
and then I got shot down.
Monday through Friday, 8 to 8, let's say. That gives, you did say 8 or 9. And then Saturday, Sunday,
even Sunday's even a kind of a gray area for being late, 'cause they gotta work the next day, I mean, I get it.
we could do Sunday through Friday.
Sunday to Friday,
8 to 8. And then Saturday, what were you saying, 8 to 10?
Probably be like 11 or something, maybe, a little bit later, it's the weekend, I mean,
I make a motion Sunday to Friday, 8 to 9.
Yep.
I think 8 is a little early, even though I know you work second shift. And then Saturday, 8 to 10, I think is acceptable. I make a motion for that.
do I hear a second? I will second that.
Hallelujah. We
All in-
have progress. Jeez.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're good. Got the hours.
So that's Sunday to Friday, 8 AM to 9 PM, and Saturdays, 8 to 10. Is that what we got out of that?
Yes.
Okay, that's double.
Praise the Lord. No. Okay, now,
Any other conditions or commitments that this board has or
needs information on. Was there any other questions that we didn't answer, Jamie, in your staff report?
I don't think so. We do need to add the newspaper affidavit be given,
All right.
That'd be a condition,
yeah.
John, just that we received the newspaper affidavit.
All right.
How many, you have,
Now, we need to.
how many
read
service bays
it
do you
all,
have that you
right?
could work on? How many cars?
3.
Three service bays.
We said 3 on this, they voted 3.
If the board.
What I would recommend, because we went through and talked about this so much, is see if there's any rebuttals from the audience to be able to say their concerns on the
Yeah.
conditions and commitments we put on.
Is there anyone in the audience who would like to rebut what we have stated? If the variance would be approved on the conditions and commitments, if you do, please come to the microphone.
Sorry, it's a game of
Musical chairs.
And it's just state your name, address, and
I guess I'm confused, is he's here trying to get a variance to open a business, and he's already running a business. He's already running a business he's not supposed to run, so I'm a little
I
confused
understand
about
that, and
And I'm also confused about the time on the weekends, because that's when families get together, have their outings.
yeah, well, we just stipulated in the time, John, reading the time is what the board, if it would be approved.
That's where I'm at, that's what I'm
We're at a
making
different
sure.
point. This is not
Yeah.
approved.
Okay.
We,
We're
it
just
hasn't been
suggesting-
approved.
Okay.
Yeah, he shouldn't have been running it, he had enforcement letters.
Okay.
But we just want to know what you're thinking.
So this whole meeting is to say, yes, you can run a business.
Yeah,
I know you're not allowed to, but this whole meeting's about saying, yes, you can, and these are the stipulations you have to follow. So that's why we did the 3 in a fenced area, we did all these different things. So that, if he's going to do it, and it gets approved, he'll have to meet all of these standards that are being put in place.
If it gets approved.
Now, for the hours of operation, I thought bringing you back up just so that they hear what's a concern. So from Sunday to Friday, it's at 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. That's not as big of a concern to you? It's more the Saturday timeframe?
The weekend in general, the weekends, we usually have outings.
Okay, so what is your concern on Saturday and Sunday? What would, just so the board knows what,
Well, I'm concerned about the noise that's going to be happening with the traffic. That's what I'm concerned about.
so he's only gonna be able to have 3 vehicles there now. I know before he had a lot more vehicles in and out.
Oh, he has more than that now, and he has,
Well,
Well, he's only
he'll
going to
have
be
his
allowed
own
3
personal
if we
vehicles,
approve this variance,
right?
if we do.
I got you.
So what happens if he, because I'm not sure, what
Yep.
happens if
Yeah.
he breaks that
The-
call? Does a neighbor call and does he get fined? Like, what's the,
Right.
is that what you're kind of curious about too? Is how do you
Yeah.
keep that enforced?
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Because
So-
what's to keep him from getting
Right.
approved?
Well,
and-
Aaron will explain to you the due process then.
So these are his stipulations. If he doesn't meet these stipulations, we do send out letters like we have before. If he does not comply, then he can be fined per day per violation up to $250, and then we would take him to court. Or we have the option of he's not meeting the standards, the board can shut it down. Now, if he keeps going, again, we'd have to take him to court. And then that we do still have the option of unsafe if he doesn't meet this, because he's not able to operate exceeding anything that would be approved today.
But there is a possibility that he can just keep running through all this time,
Yes.
Yeah.
Realistically.
Only with 3 vehicles.
right?
If,
If it gets approved,
If-
it
yeah.
says 3 vehicles that he can have.
if.
That's not,
That's vehicles he can work on.
that's in addition to his
Additional.
normal house vehicles. People visiting, whatever. He's only allowed to work on 3.
So where is he going to have to park the other 3 cars?
The 3 that he's working on in the fenced area unless.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
Okay.
Yeah, or the garage.
Okay,
And it's fenced.
all right.
And then we even have in here that anything that would be on site, even people visiting or trailers would be parked in the drives, because he has plenty of driveways and the roundabout driveway to be able to park in.
And I was also concerned about the highway, because the county's right up the road, and there's those county trucks going through there all the time, and I thought you had to have a special permit.
No, you don't.
I had to get my okay for zoning to get on Northern Avenue.
That's this meeting. He's getting the special approvals through Board of Zoning Appeals to be able to do the things he's doing. Now,
Okay.
regarding the state and whether or not they're gonna say he can't use that drive, that's gonna be up to NDOT because it's a state highway. But all the other approvals and the extra stuff that he has to do to be able to run this business, that's this meeting tonight.
Okay. Thank you.
Anybody else that would like to say anything? Okay, we good? Now,
I don't think we are, but.
well, as good as we can be. So now we need to do the conditions and the commitments?
I don't have your procedures in front of me, but we
We
did
will.
there's no correspondence.
There
We
you
did
go.
that, right?
Yeah, we did. I asked if there was any written
Okay, so
correspondence.
yes, so now we just read the conditions and commitments.
Okay,
That
John.
he would agree to, so come
Right.
back up, sorry.
They're fine. John, please read the conditions and the commitments.
Conditions of approval. Number one, that all proposals of the petitioner be made conditions of approval. Two, that all other standards of the ordinance be met. Three, that all applicable state and local permits be obtained and proof be given to the zoning administrator. Four, the fence must be put in before any operations can occur. 5, work hours are to be 8 a.m. to 9 p.m.
That's gonna be under commitments, not conditions.
Yeah.
But on the conditions, there's the affidavit one.
Right. Number 5, we have received the newspaper affidavit. Is that good?
Yep. Yeah.
Commitments of approval. 1, that there be no outdoor storage of material such as tires, parts, supplies, equipment, or vehicles awaiting repair or under repair within the public view. 2, that all fluids or other waste be disposed of properly. 3, that no salvaging of parts or materials be done. 4, vehicles shall not be stored outside while awaiting repairs for more than 7 consecutive calendar days. No vehicles may be parked or stored on any public right-of-way. 5, the vehicles used for repair are to be screened from view by an opaque privacy fence at least 6 feet tall. 6, that a maximum of 3 vehicles be allowed on site that are awaiting repair. 7, that all vehicles for repair shall be stored in the fenced-in area, and all other vehicles, trailers, etc., only be parked in driveways. 8, that this approval only runs with the current property owner. And 9, the work hours to be 8 a.m. to 9 p.m., Sunday through Friday, Saturday, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Thank you. Would you agree to abide by the conditions should your petition be granted today?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a motion to bring case number 2523 to a vote?
So moved.
Do I hear a second? A second. If discussion is closed, we will take a few minutes for the render and the facts. Yeah, we're voting on both variances too. Thank you.
Variance and the use variance. Use variance and variance from developmental standards. Remember that variance from developmental standard is
Yeah.
for buffer yard and the setback of the driveway.
Yeah. All right, thank you. Sure on that.
If they approve it, this will be recorded. They'll let me.
Okay.
Okay. Can I have you sign, but you have to sign it just. Sometimes I have typed my names. Making them people.
I hope it's all right. One thing. There's a lot of Jamies in one room.
I'll get that here in a second. I'm waiting for Mimi. She's not ready yet. Will the secretary please take a roll call vote?
How much, are we just doing both at the same time?
Yeah, we're gonna do both of them at the same time.
Steph Elton,
Yes.
Jimmy Remowitz,
No.
John Brown, no. Jeff Key,
No. The board, your case number 2523 has not been approved. The zoning administrator will send you a letter with the results of the hearing. As always, you can appeal the decision to the interested party to the circuit court if filed within 30 days of today's date. Okay? Now,
I don't think we have anything else. Is there anything that you?
well, I don't know. Do we have any old business to discuss? Or any new business to discuss? If we do not, can I make a motion to adjourn? Can I get a second? I'll make a motion to adjourn. Can I get a second?
I second.
A second to adjourn. All in favor? Mimi, John, all in favor?